How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews. Back a little bit of mystery beer stylings, courtesy of my boy Jeff, a.k.a. the No Jinx. A little bit of aluminum foil wrapped mystery beer is probably one of my favorite kind of wrappings of mystery beers as of late. Just because I know it's going to be relatively easy to get off. At least I assume it is. But yeah, he sent me off a box of 4 beers, 2 mystery beers, 2 12-ounce mystery beers. And then we also have 2 kind of low ABV beers from Holmes Brewing. So I'm kind of excited to dive into those. But this is the first beer out of the bunch that I will be diving into. Now, like I said, label-wise, absolutely fantastic. Bonus points for him actually writing his name on here because I forget stuff half the time. But I wouldn't forget the aluminum, so I dig it though. What do we have here? It could be a bunch of different things. It's not a stout. It could be a smoke beer, could be a Rosh beer, could be a barley wine, could be a brown ale, could be even a porter to a certain extent. Knee-jerk reaction from a distance. I don't think it's that high in ABV. I think it's kind of, we might be dealing with kind of winter warmery vibes kind of floating around here. Anyway, let's see if we can get a nose. What am I dealing with here? I think I'm dealing with either... Right now it's all malt forward, but there is something extra to it. I don't know if it's a yeast phenolic. I don't know if it's an added sweetness. I think it's an added sweetness, so I'm kind of leaning to an American-born version of like a Belgian double. But I could see Imperial Brown Ale on this. I could see Winter Warmer on this, even though I'm not getting much as far as spices go. I mean, it just has this rich, sweet, kind of not quite caramel maltiness, but this sweet brown breadiness in combination with that little dollop of extra sweetness that makes me think like a Belgian candied beet sugar kind of thing going on. Not much as far as any kind of hop presence whatsoever, and it just has this kind of richness to it. Could be a double bock too, but I'm guessing based off of the nose, somewhere around nose. So Belgian double bock kind of thing floating around there. The taste is going to tell us more, but we're kind of flirting, I think, right around that 7 to 8% range. So let's dive in. Cheers. Okay. It's got to be somebody's double bock, right? It's definitely on a Belgian-based beer. That sweetness, that big pop of sweetness I got in the nose that seemed outside of normal malt base, it's not there in the taste. It has this kind of almost, it's sweet, but not overly sweet, but it has this super quick, clean finish to it, which makes me think it's lagered. Core 4 beer, nothing else added. It's got to be somebody's double bock. I'll tell you what, though, I think it's delicious. I think it's I want to go 7s. 7.8% double bock. Done. That's it. There's nothing more to it. There's no adjuncts added. There's no adjuncts added. It's just a rich, well-made, lagered double bock. It's too rich and too big to be like something a bit darker in the Belgian kind of. It's not like I don't think it's a Dunkel. I don't think it's any of those kind of lower. I think we're in the Doppelbock range here. If I screw up and it ends up being a Dunkel, I'll be fine with that too. But I really do think we're drinking somebody's 7.6. Excuse me, 7.6% somebody's double bock. I don't think I've had this beer before, but I like it. I think it drinks quite nice. I think it's a nice representation of that style, if that's what it ends up being. And we'll see what's what. So what do we have here? We have Black Rocks Brewing. It's their black lager. Okay. Well, we're in the lager territory. That was without a doubt, but this did not come off as a black lager for me. From the deep roast and chocolate notes folded within this crisp, clean lager. 4.8%. Wow, man. I thought this was way higher in ABV. So poopy on me for that ABV. So yeah, I mean it is more. It was canned on December 9th of 2020. Today is towards the end of February it is. I would have sworn, with the way the mouthfeel kind of came off on this and the way this rich kind of breadiness came off of this, I would have bet everything that this is up there in ABV in the 6 to 7 range. And with it being that low ABV, I'm actually quite blown away. It was absolutely 100% a lager. There's no way it wasn't with how it was drinking. But the way this breadiness kind of comes off, it's rich. They talk about here deep roast and dark chocolate notes folded within this crisp, clean lager. It drank crisp, clean. It drank really nice, and it just has this mouthfeel to it. It didn't have like an alcohol level to it, even with that sweetness on the nose. And when I dove into it, I knew that it was way less sweet. That's why I kind of kicked that Belgian thing to the curb real quick. It still didn't come off as this low. I could see someone's like, 5.8 or 6 or whatever, and be like, yeah, but a sub 5% for something like this is absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much, Jeff, for sending this off. This is a really fun beer. So we have here native brewed in Marquette, Michigan is where these guys are located. I love this beer. I love it. And I love it even more now that I know it's that low in ABV, because to find these kind of impactful beers at low ABV, I mean, Jeff knows who he's sending beer to. All the beers that he sent me, well, I don't know what the mystery beers, but the 2 that I knew that he sent me were low in ABV, and this is the stuff I really geek out over. And I think this might be one of the best dark beers I've had at sub 5%. I still can't believe it's sub 5%. It makes sense when you drink it, but just to get that level of impact and to pack it in under that ABV, that 5% range, kudos to these guys. I totally thought it was a bigger beer. And absolutely delicious. Let's talk about this beer. Is this one of the better lagers? Let's go that blank of a slate. Is this one of the better lagers I've had as of late? Yes. Is it Mount Rushmore status? It's worthy. It's probably not, only because I've had some epically fantastical lagers over the past year that might eke this out a little bit. But if we start to whittle down, kind of narrow what we're saying about this beer, if we say, okay, is this one of the better dark lagers I've had as of late, or is it one of the better no, I guess it would be still dark lagers, low ABV dark lagers I've had as of late? Absolutely Mount Rushmore status. That's where it kind of takes off, because I don't remember the last time I've had something this low. I've had check pills, check dark pills, check dark lager, those kind of things, and I believe most of them have been +5. Almost all of them. I'm sure some haven't, but this is definitely up there. Definitely worthy of being on that mountain, and absolutely delicious stuff. Value and availability, I have no idea about. So Jeff or anybody else out there in the old Marquette, Michigan kind of universe, let me know what's what when it comes to this brewery and how you get their beers, and leave you with, if you like what we like this. I'll tell you right now, if you love Double Block, but you're like me where sometimes it sucks because they're way too high in ABV, this is going to make you all kinds of happy, because that's the one cool thing about mystery beers, is that even though technically I was wrong on the beer, because I called it a Double Block and I called it 8%. Sure, I called it a lager, but I think that was pretty easy from the taste, so I'm not going to sit here and pat myself on the back on that one. But the cool thing about mystery beers is you're tasting what you're tasting. So even though I was technically wrong on the beer, what I tasted, what I drank in my brain was a 7% Double Bock, but I happen to have a sub 5% dark lager. So it really is the best version of a Double Bock in a very tight and tidy package. So if you like those German style dark lagers and you want them at a low ABV and epically well made, I didn't even talk about the illusion of any kind of negative with this beer as far as metallic astringency or any kind of off flavor. If you like really well done lager, you're going to be hard pressed to find one better than this, especially in the dark range. So there you go. Little mystery beer in the books. Thank you very much, Jeff. Very cool of you. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you're more than welcome to send off some mystery beers. The only way us beer tubers can do them is through you guys. Massivebeers@gmail.com or Matt@massivebeers.com. It all goes to the same place. If you want to check me out doing the social media stuff, all that stuff up there. Yeah, Massive Beers. Type that in the Googs. Beer Massif. You can type that in the old internets and find me doing podcasting stuff. And hopefully you guys enjoyed our review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of black lager right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.